there are many, benefits you get from playing this game.
All right.
And what is interesting, that this game was only for men.
Oh.
Not boys, not girls, not women, only men. And in Uganda, as you are aware that Baganda men used to be warriors. So after the war, they will sit under a tree and then start using this game because it's a game of strategy. So to strategize using this game. This game is a game of, calculations. It teaches you critical thinking. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. It teaches you, spatial thinking. You stop thinking like this, and then you start thinking like this. So when you play this game, and this game, when you play it, you bond. And just look at the way, like for example, let's say
you're making me look like an amateur in the way you're.
just imagine, even the sound itself, when you're used to the game, it is such an interesting sound. Okay. And this game, why was it only for men?
Yeah, we start from there.
That's something interesting. So, because when you play this game, you bond. So just imagine you are bonding with someone's wife. Those days, what would happen?
That's how you start looking at.
The way we sit on this game, we sit like this. Now just imagine a Muganda woman sitting like this.
Yeah,
and then the men used to take this space as their space of, confidentiality.
Yeah, where
that's when you tell the fellow man that you see that daughter there is mine. Just imagine you are talking all that when there is a woman somewhere. She will directly run and tell the other woman that, you know what, your husband is doing this and that. So this game was specific for that. But most important, the women were responsible for food in Buganda.
Okay.
From the garden to the serving
table.
Mat. No, it's a mat. The serving mat.
The table is so
if women started playing this game, and it is very addictive. When you start playing it, you don't want to stop. So if women started playing this game in those olden days, it would mean Buganda would have no food. So that's another reason why they were never playing that game.
Talk about it being played by a single person at a go.
Yeah, because one thing is, life is power play. So every time there's that power play, when I'm in charge, you are not in. You are the one who is listening to me,
observing,
taking lessons, and that's a lesson in life. In life, we have to know that I have my turn, and he has his turn, and that is discipline. Because even if you are playing with someone who's, for example, you are playing your son, and your son wins, you don't say, you are my son, so I'm not leaving.
Yes.
You just stand and let another person take over until you come back and play and win. That's only when you can say, now, yes, I'm back.
It's a game of
discipline. A game of discipline. And if you're not aware that the Kabaka, when we are playing this game, when I'm winning, Ngankutema, for example, Nkutema, when I take the two, heads, then I say chua.
Kabaka chua.
Chua, yeah. Sekabaka chua. I just say chua because Sekabaka chua loved this game so much.
Did it start during his reign?
No, he found it there. He was a very good player of this game, so he loved it so much. That's why we always use him as chua, meaning that now it's over. The game is over. Yeah, don't waste my time. So that is it.
Okay.
About this game.
Okay, so art and culture, very many people, say there is a very quite general relationship between the two.
Yeah.
But I want you to make much more sense about how the two are intertwined.
Yes, I think it's when I think about connection, it sounds like there's this part, and then there's this part, and then you connect them. But for me, the way I look at art and culture, I think they're intertwined. They're one.
There is no that kind of space.
You cannot remove art and take it away. Neither can you remove culture and take it away. Because when you look at, for example, visual art. When you look at visual art, I want to define this as an object or an experience that has been consciously created, and created. So you see that this is a piece of art.
Yes.
It's a piece of art, and you can see how it relates. It is just in the culture itself. The Kabaka, during the coronation of Kabaka, my Kabaka, this game, they play this game. The Kabaka plays the game.
As part of the coronation practices.
Cultural practices. He plays it. So now you see, you can't, if you say this is on the other side, and this is on the other side, if you remove this, that piece is going to be missing. So it is one thing like this. And when you look at, for example, let's say functional art, where I want to look at baskets, for example. Yes. Basketry is an art. It is an art which has lived here for thousands of years. And you find that now that art, for example, this basket you see.
Yes.
So this basket is communicating. This basket is communicating. For example, when they are coronating still the Kabaka of Uganda, they make juice for him, banana juice. And you know what?
Omubisi
ogwo tebagukolera mu lyato
oba mu bucket ng'ennaku zino.
Yes, omubisi ogwo
bagusogolera
mu kibbo.
Teguyita mu
yes,
juice
special chibbo. And the person who does it, that artist is special. She knows how to do that. So still it's a chibbo. And when you look at this basket, for me, it is not just a basket. This is when you look at you'll find that now you see this. Why is it that now these two
zino ze bayita enjole
zino enjulu naye kati lwakyo nti gino emiga ebiri bagikwatira wamu
wano?
Yes, one okalabaako ako then n'akalala lwaki
kalala kaakano?
Yes, lwaki? So ekyo kibba ekiganda. Now you can see the connection. Now we are talking about twins.
Yensonga
every basket will have that. And then some baskets that are special for twins, you'll find that they have 4 pillars. And those 4 pillars are in the basket. For example, and do you know those pillars? One of the pillars is my clan.
Ekika
kyange. Then my mother's clan. Then my grandmother's clan, who is the mother of my mother. And then the clan of my grandmother, who is the mother of my father. So the 4 clans are there in the basket.
So Mwami Mayanja,
yep.
I want to understand. There are people abakola ebintu bino for business and they don't have this background. They do not have the background or the explanation to this kind of making of the basket. Bobo balekawa. Era abakola ebibbo bino with that kind of background, where do they get trained okubanga bakola ekintu nga kirina that heritage?
Yes. Ekyewuunyisa, this knowledge has been passed on from generation to generation. Nobody taught this one that they must be mutekedde okubamu empagi. Akimanyi nti empagi zirina okubamu. But also, now that the business is growing, that's a niche. That's a market niche for us. Now, for us who have invested in knowing these things, we are going to be a little bit happy because now we'll be training people to know that if I'm making a basket for the Baganda basket looks like this is how different it is.
Because also other parts of the country or regions, they have their own cultures and probably they also have a way of how they make their own baskets. Meaning with your expertise over time, for you can look at a basket like this and you tell that this is a one from Buganda.
Yes, exactly. The Bunyoro one also looks like this, but you can tell that this is from Bunyoro. It's not from Buganda by looking at that.
Because of those particular bits that are totally different.
That this basket, is a bank.
Okay.
This was a Muganda's bank.
Ebigali.
Ekibigali, what we call ebigali. So they would put money there and some herbs and keep it there. But once you had an emergency, for example, a child is sick, you would go kneel before Bajaja and then ask them to borrow you some money. And then you go fix the problem After fixing the problem, you bring back the money.
With
It
the
is your
profit?
money. It is your money. No, it is no profit, because for them they are very understanding. They are not like the banks of today.
Yes.
So they would give you the money, go use it, bring it back. So it's a way of saving money, but the
Saving
basket
money.
still. But also when the whites came, they picked on the basket. Up to today, now they have changed the modern basket in these churches, and you find baskets, and you ask yourself, why not boxes?
True.
Still, it is the boxes, and it's still the baskets,
The
because
heritage,
it's coming from the culture.
The heritage has
And
been
not only
preserved.
that, for example, there's a basket called Sweswet.
Sweswet.
It's from the Bennett, people who used to stay in a mountain Elgon forest. So now they are pushed out.
Yes.
Now they have a basket which they call Sweswet. It's a small basket. So when they're dancing on an occasion, whether it is circumcision or what, the women hold that basket like this, and then they start, as they dance, they wave that basket. It's a small one, it's a Sweswet.
Yeah.
But what is so interesting about it, that when you are Salongo, a father of twins,
Salongo.
and then you die, and then your son or your daughter is going to get circumcised, because for them, traditionally, they used to circumcise the girls. So now they would bring that basket, get your bones from where they buried you, put them in that basket, Sweswet, then take them into a cave. So now you see how that basket is part and parcel of their culture.
Yes.
So and that's just one
Aspect.
of functional art. You can look at many things. You can look at the shields. You can look at the spears. You can look at many and know that is art. You can go to West Africa,
Yes.
and see their masks. For example, in Liberia, they have masks that depict female ancestors. But when you see them, then you know.
Okay, Mr. Mayanja, I love when you speak about these practices over time, but also true to it is that today, over the years, as times have changed, some of these practices have seemed to, get to diminish away from the practice.
True.
What could you say about that, and what could have caused that? That today you have vast experience and knowledge about the making of such things. We talked about the Omweso game before, but today most of the people, even the Baganda, our children, the grandchildren, and the Gen Zs today don't have such information.
Yeah, the Gen Z, that's Generation Z.
Yes.
The last generation.
Yes, but there is a new one actually. There is a new one that started earlier this year. They are called Generation Alpha.
No, Z is the last on the alphabet chart. So that is going to be the last. I don't know if they know what they're saying. That the last, I don't know. But I don't think that they last.
Yeah.
Because there's continuity. You have to have continuity. So I think that's why now Connect for Culture Africa comes in very, very, very handy.
We need
it.
Because with Nakao.
With Nakao. This is where we have now to come out and tell our people, try to train people to do, because now it's a business.
True.
It's no longer that it's from the mother to the daughter and then to the granddaughter.
It's no longer a family affair.
Now it's a business, and I'm telling you, it is quite a big business, because now this basket does, I don't know, it has a number of purposes than the ones it had originally.
True.
Now we have baskets for umbrellas, we have baskets for coffee, we have baskets for many things. So I think it's important, and now we need to start deliberately to think about training people, the artists who are doing these baskets, but also because their choices. So the colors, now we have only this one, but there are many other baskets that have different purposes now in the modern, in the contemporary, world. So culture and art are like this. So if they are Siamese twins, if you remove one without being very, careful, they are going to die.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked about these practices in terms of art, but I believe there are other cultural practices
Yes.
that have diminished over the years,
Yeah.
all that are no longer within our faces. If you could point out some of those, even away from the area of art.
Even before, I want to make you see this, that for example, in Uganda, we have, during the Kabaka's coronation, we have Olutalo lw'ebirumbi. This is a war of birumbi, yeah. And this war of birumbi is a play. It's an act. And then we have the protagonist is the crown prince, yeah. And then the antagonist is Omutaka Chinobe. So these two have armies. And now these two armies use papyrus reeds to come and fight. Omutaka Chinobe is trying to stop the crown prince from, ascending to the place where it's going to be coronated, and the crown prince, who is going to be the Kabaka, is also trying to make sure that he beats that army and gets on the what? And you can see the Kabaka himself is an actor. And that's why, for me, I look at culture right from the naming ceremony. Just go back and check the naming ceremony, wedding, introduction, wedding, which is introduction is wedding.
Yes,
then you go to burial, you go to kwabyolumbe tuba tusuze muki mungalabi. When we go for lumbe tuba tusuze muki mungalabi, we sleep in the long drum. Okwarula abalongo. Everything is about that. They're just like this. So there's no way we can delineate art from culture. They're one and one.
You've been a community facilitator,
yes,
for a very long time. I talked about that in your introduction.
Yes.
How have you seen art playing to that effect from the grassroots level in communities?
Yes. People, you see, before the white man came, for example, in theater, we had what our theater, it was drama. The acting happens at the same time. The music happens at the same time. The drama is drumming. The dancer is dancing. The comedian is bringing a joke, all in the same space. There's no director. There's no curtain. Everything is happening at the same time.
In real time.
But when the white man came, he said, now this is how it's supposed to happen.
They professionalized it.
I don't know if it was professionalizing, but when they came, they said, now you are this side. The audience is supposed to be there. And they have to be like this until the play ends. But for us, it is the same thing. And for example, in Karamoja, when you're in Karamoja, they love beads. And they know how to make their beads. But if you look at a Karamojong woman, you can tell the status of that woman by only the beads she's wearing. Whether she's married or not married, or still a girl, the beads she's wearing.
Yeah, because both women and men dress, they have the same attires.
The women now, they have what they call nakatuku. Nakatuku is a small skirt now, but before they used to have a skin of a calf, and then they would make it and then they would put it like, and then it looks beautiful, of course. And now their nakatuku is also good, but this was something they invented of not very long ago. It's new, and this happened. So when they walk, it walks like, and it has a word. It goes like swinging. This. Swinging like this. And the word is kumanyoko. Kumanyoko. They call it kumanyoko. And the kumanyoko, they are sending a message to one of the generals who went there and killed many of them using gunships. So now you can see how culture is connecting to the art of that skirt and communicating something. Because art has been communicating culture. And that's it. Talk of Uganda, talk of anywhere you go, you will find that the culture is is part and parcel. You can't. There's no way you can remove it. And when you look at artists, because artists are a product of their communities. So if they are a product of that community, given community, so they know the norms, the beliefs, and the attitudes of that community, and they have grown up in those environment, that environment.
That later shape
so if they want to give you, they give you what they have. They cannot give you what they don't have. True. So now you'll find that the artist, painting, will paint an art piece, and then you see the horns are like this, the Ankole cows. A Canadian will not draw that, because a Canadian knows that the cows don't have horns. But
because of where
for Ugandan who have seen these cows many times, will draw an art piece with those horns, the long horns from the Ankole cows. So art is part and parcel of culture.
Okay. In this digital day and age, with of course has come with a lot of technological advancement, something that we just can't shy away from. How do you see tradition and contemporary art forms evolving in this age?
Yeah, very, very, very important. Culture is not static.
It keeps evolving.
Culture is progressive. It has to be progressive. So now it's just to see how would we embrace the digital world, because we cannot continue to shy away from it.
Exactly.
How do we get that space?
Keep it
and
going.
Tell them, yes, because there are many things that are happening on these spaces. But how do we now also go there and tell them what you want to tell them in the way they will understand it?
Yes. Yeah. Because I was looking at now with phones.
Yep.
Yeah, digital devices, smart gadgets. There are games like Matatu online there.
True.
How do we get our traditional games like Omweso here?
Yeah, sure.
To get on the phones. I talked of the technological advancements. How do we get a Bibbo? Sure. Buganda, with all the key details that you talked about, there is where we pair them up.
Yep.
Netubaako we tukozesa enjulu, netugatta lines emigo ebiri gino.
Yep.
The machines there today ezikola ebintu nga bino.
Yep.
How do we incorporate that? Netuba nti ekyuma ekyo kisobola okukola ekibbo kyaffe eky'Abaganda ne details ezo.
Yeah. Ekibbo awo twawukanira. Kasa tugenda ku machine, then the story to changes. Because every basket is a different story.
Okay.
Every art piece is a different story. Even if it is the same artist.
Yes.
It can't be the same. Even if it's a performance. If you perform at 2:30 and then you perform again at 6:30, it's going to be a different performance. So the energy, now they call it the vibe and the feeling. So there's something with this. Now you find if a lady is happy, it's going to make something different. If she's a bit stressed, it will be different. So that story, and that is one of the biggest challenges we have in the market. Because people who come from the other culture think that if they want a basket, it has to be 12 inches, 3 inches. And it must be the same, exactly the same. And they forget this is not a machine.
Yes.
This is a story. Every single item is a different story. So if you go to mass production, yes, the Chinese are doing mass production.
Okay.
They have taken some of our, like in Simbi, the shells, they have made some plastic ones. So they have taken beads and they are making, sandals but they're plastic. So they're not exactly that. So and eventually we are going to end up getting baskets that are plastic, and then add to a problem because these people, like these ones, they were very, very concerned about their environment.
Yes.
Do you know that this basket would change a name? It transforms from one state to another. It even changes the purpose. This Chibbo.
Yes.
Wekiva mu kibbo nga bakikozesezza ne kiba nga tekyasobola kubeera kibbo nga kifuuka olubbobbo. Ya olubbobbo nga lukola emirimu gyanjawulo ku kibbo naye ng'enjulu baziina era bamanyi we ziri. But because they want to preserve enjulu, they will not just say kati kino kivudde mu kibbo tukisuule tuleete enjulu tukole ekirala. So they were very, very cautious about the environment. Now we have lost that. We think that we have to have plastic everywhere. Plastics. And then, by the way, kano kankayiseewo. Gwokimanyi nti kakati plastic ziri mu mubiri gwaffe? Okimanyi ekyo? Nti olina plastic mu mubiri gwo?
Maybe okuva mu plastic gwenkozesa oba bw'asaanuka nga munywereddemu
nsonyiwa okwogera ekigambo ekiyivu ekityo naye nga kituufu. There are microplastics zotusobola kulaba na maaso go. For example, singa nteeka wano akacupa wansi wano mukoka n'akayitako atandika okuggyako mu plastics obutono ennyo n'abutwala mu Nalubaale. Kati mu Nalubaale empuuta, nze njagala nnyo empuuta sometimes, empuuta tekalaba nekalya nekagenda mu mubiri gwayo nekayingiramu nekakuliramu nekabeera mu mubiri nga kalimuli ne bagisala ne bagireeta. Nze nenjagala ekifi kyaki ky'empuuta nenkirya nga mu plastic nayingira mu mubiri gwange direct. But we are not aware and we don't know what that plastic will do in my body. So this kino wekikoowa nga kivunda nga kikola manure nga ettooke lireeta ki ekitooke nga tekirimu plastic. So I think one thing we have to do is to how do we have more people do this and how do we make our people realize that this is what is important.
It is
because the whites, that market, they're the ones who buy these baskets. It's very hard to find Mr. Chiaga buying it. If he's buying it, it's for purpose. So how do we make people realize that you can ask him to know mukeka nagamba anjiraba nesola kola ki amukeka nago ayina ka plastic kayangu okuteekawo myezi 3 nikakutuka ne bakasuula nekagenda mu Nalubaale. So
gwe n'ogula ekyennyanja kyo.
Yes, oba gwe n'ogula bogoya. So ekyo kati tulina okulaba nti how do we go to tell people, go to schools, go to tell young people to value their things. They value their things. They really value what they do. For example, ngamanya abantu coffee. We are over 40 let's say we are 46 million people. We are among the best producers of coffee in the world. Finland has 5.5 million people. They're the number 1 coffee takers in the world. How do we explain that? And we still complain. Coffee, tibamugula. Mumugula. Mumwenywera, mumunywa. Because tumanyi nti wabali. Fe tu producing bali banywe, fe tunywe ebisusunku byaki bya majani. Munsonyiwe but that's a fact. Na majani getunywa sige majani. Getugula sagala ko gaje tukagula. Naye sige go, tunywa bisusunku. Bine bigenda wa? So how do we now change our mindset to look at our things as tubyeta?
Okay, ekyo ekindeeta ku bwe tubadde tutandika twayogedde nti osomesa abakulembeze mu arts management. You're an arts management trainer.
Yep.
What role could art managers or artists management or arts leadership play in solving some of these problems, changing this narrative that we are talking about?
First of all, arts management is one of the hardest thing because selling art is not like selling chips and chicken. Two, an arts manager, you'll find that does everything. Is the accountant, is the marketeer, is the producer, is everything. So, do you buli kintu okimanyi ekyo? Katwesanga nga you have very good baskets, but are you aware how much a display does in sales? Nga gwe display tuli mulungi mu display era nga tokifanako nojjuza bujjuza, right?
Product zo
naye ngolaba oli atunda ng'oli amanyi kimu amanyi nti my display eteekeddwa okuba nga attractive and ngera kiteekamu obudde bwe every day. Omulala n'amanya nti my books of accounts zirina okuba proper nga nze sitirinako nze wenzikwata
gwomanyi kimu kukola
neziteeka muki mu nsawo yange eyamabega wano nenyingirawo ngenda okugira nenga nezaalazeewa nenzijukira olwo nenga walindako wamma oyo namuwadde ebiri n'oli nemuwa ogumu kituufu zaakoze eki zaaweddewo ng'amanyi bookkeeping kyeyakoze kiki kyera. So I think we need training for artists, producers, first of all, the artisans who are doing this, the artists, but also us, our promoting art, because we also in the business. There are people who are not doing art, but they are promoting art. So now better go kumanya, how do I and take this as a business? An artist should know that this is a business. The artists, abatamanyi, what they are doing is a business. It's just art. Yeah, just art. But when it's a business, they will handle it like they're doing a business. And they need training to know that this is a business and this is how you can handle your business and this is what you can expect. How do you promote your products? How do you plan? Do you have a plan for example, for maybe 6 months? At least 6 months. Okay. That you know from here, I'll get here. If I don't get there, then I'll retreat back and say, why did that? Review and see how I can get there.
Well, today, Mr. Mayanja, globalization ideally affects everything and in all sectors, and art has not been spared. True. So, how can we ensure that African art remains authentic with, while we maintain the innovation around it?
Thank you. That is a killer. People think we have to do what they want. The global market demands that we do what they want to buy, not what comes out of our culture. So they come to Uganda and they want you to make Zulu baskets. They want a Zulu basket. So they want you now to leave this basket and make Zulu baskets, and they say this is good, the colors, I want these colors. So now that pushes the people who are producing now to leave this and say, instead of doing our drum, let me do a djembe. But you ask them djembe to tell you what is djembe. They don't know djembe because for them it's a West African kind of talking product. Drum. But now you find people in Mpambire doing djembe. And because the market wants it. Eventually, you're going to see that we don't have our Ingalavi will phase out, and then you have only djembes. So we need, first of all, to know that our things are good, and we must preserve our heritage, because heritage is tourism. If we lose it, we have lost a big chunk of our tourism. So one, we have to make sure that we educate people to know that what we have is of value. Two, we have to make sure that we keep telling people that you can do what you do and get money out of it. You don't have to jump from your own, then jump on something else in order for you to get money.
The globalization kind of trend.
Three, we must tell them that we can have the cultural products and now have the contemporary. But the contemporary must be an extension of the culture product. For example, from this basket, we can create another basket, which we have now. We have a basket like this with a cover. So you can tell a story that this is where we were. Now we have brought it to this level. Now we can make a laundry basket using Njuru and say this is a laundry basket, but it is inspired by that.
You're remaining
Chiganda
from within the same
basket.
fabric.
Exactly.
The evolution can be tracked.
Very, very important. And there are people out there who are really looking for that. They want to see that. If they want to see a Karamjong stool, then they want to see how it has moved from that traditional one now to a contemporary one, and where is it going next. So we must keep that track and documenting, which is not part of us. We are not documenting. We are waiting for someone to come from I don't know where to start documenting for us.
As we come to the end of this, Mr. Mayanja, looking ahead, what is that particular thing or a few things that excite you about the future? And if you could also paint a picture, how is the future of the arts and culture industry in Uganda?
The future is bright, I can say, because what I see is that many people, even now in Uganda, people are realizing that we have good products in the area of art. Some years back, you wouldn't find, in a hotel baskets as, decoration. Today, there are some hotels where you go and you find they have put baskets as decoration, as decor.
Even when you move to the Sheraton today, at their lobby,
yes. And then you find that now the people doing decoration business on events, they have realized that you can really use our products and then you really decorate something unique. So they're doing it. So that for me, that's a positive, and I think more people are going to do that. But also, I think we have not invested enough in tourism, but I see Ugandan tourism growing. And when Ugandan tourism grows, then art, which is part and parcel of tourism, so when they come here, they want souvenirs. So all we have to do is to get digital, put it up there, and tell them this is what we have, and tell them the stories. Because I have realized that many people who come to buy some of the things, they don't buy the product. They buy the story.
Yes.
And that's why sometimes you find people tell, I don't know, untrue stories.
Yes.
Instead of telling the real story, because they think that story is not selling. But when you have the right story, people will buy that product. And I think we also need to start now thinking globally. How do you go where they are? Where are the customers? Must we wait for them here? Or we go where they are? Because people are doing it. The Chinese don't wait for you to go there. They just come and dump everything, and say, pop, there. They in your face. And then you say, because for me, people like glittering things. Not because to them they're the best, but they have seen them over and over and over again. So they're like, I want that, the shirts and everything. So let's also try to get strategies that can take us where the customers are, and they tell them what we are and what we have.
Okay. I understand you're a member of NACAO. How has NACAO helped? If you could paint a picture, NACAO being the association that is for arts and cultural crafts in Uganda here. And I understand they are doing some work in regards to that kind of heritage and preservation. If you could say something about their kind of work in that line.
First, the space. We need space. We can't do anything without space. So only having space where we can come and interact together is something good already. So that's one. Two, they're trying to see how they can market our products beyond the traditional market. Because the traditional market is there, but it's really important that we get out of the traditional market so that other people can see what we have. Because the traditional market is limited. But there's outside that traditional market, there's another market. So how do we penetrate that market? And NACAO is trying to do that. How do we penetrate that? But also this opportunity. That when we start talking about it, people get like triggered and say, oh, is it true? Can I do? And some of them now start thinking like, okay, maybe we can help these people. Because we are, can I say, Bwana Bwambata, Bwana Bwambata. Like you see in the arts, you can see that after COVID, the music promoters were given money because because COVID hit them so hard. You'll find that the musicians, because they did the concert, they got some money because they were badly hit by COVID. You find that so many other people, but then how about us? It's like for us, we are never hit by COVID.
Probably you don't make much noise like they do.
Yeah, so let's make the noise. And how do we make that noise? Now so do we need to wake up, get sticks, and then move around and say, yeah, we are here. We also want to be helped. But I think now it's time for people, when we get such opportunities, they get to understand that, okay, this is a sector which is bringing in money, and also, even if it's not bringing money, but how many are being employed in this sector? Do you know how many? If you took time off just to find out how many artisans, how many women are making baskets in Uganda, how many men are doing these games, how many, you will find that, tens of thousands of people are, on this business. So how do we help them so that they can make their businesses bigger? Then we widen the tax base so that we can get more taxes from them, and eventually they also have good life.
All right. Yep. Thank you so much, and thanks for highlighting the kind of work that Nakao, which actually sponsors this particular show on this CFCA podcast, the work that they are doing. As we wrap it up, the very last words from you, Mr. Mayanja, and maybe where people can also find you to seek your services, this knowledge, or even, get market for some of the things that you do.
Thank you very much, Bwana Sentongo. It was a privilege for me to be here today.
A pleasure too.
And have a conversation with you. And I can only say that, please, thank you again. And I am looking forward to another opportunity to chat, whether here or outside, so that we can continue the conversation. Exactly. So you can come at Shop 41.
Shop 41.
Yes, in the Nakao village. They can come there, and then you can have a talk about things we are doing there. We are doing a little bit more than selling the baskets, but we also look at culture in its totality, and how can have cultural talks, how we can have storytelling, how we can do many things, because it's a little bit wider. So I want to say thank you very, very much. And Nakao guys, please, let's keep moving. There's no stopping. I know when I already said that darkness is an opportunity for stars to shine. So no matter how dark it becomes, let's keep moving.
Thank you so much once again.
Thank you,
Mr. Mayanja.
Thank you very much.
Until next Thursday, same time, same place. Keep it right here on the CFCA podcast. My name